General Hospital Monday, October 27, 2025 Update. Alexis courtroom tactic, Lulu's alarm bells, Drew faces Laura's fury. The week kicks off with one of General Hospital's most explosive episodes in months. Monday, October 27, 2025, opens with raw tension echoing through Port Charles' most powerful families. From Alexis' surprise courtroom strategy to Lulu's rising suspicion about a loved one's intentions, and Drew finally confronting Laura's seething wrath, the day is thick with emotional shockwaves that could rewrite alliances forever. As the morning sunlight filters through the courthouse windows, Alexis Davis adjusts her glasses, a folder of meticulously prepared notes in hand. The air is tight with anticipation. Today's hearing could decide everything, not just for her client but for her own future in Port Charles' legal community. The gallery is packed. Sam, Molly, Christina, and even Sunny sit scattered throughout the benches, each bearing their own agenda. Opposite Alexis stands Martin Gray, cool as ever, representing the city in a case that has captivated the entire town, Drew Kane vs. the state of New York, following the shocking discovery that someone inside the PCPD tampered with key evidence in Drew's previous conviction. But Alexis isn't here to merely argue law. She's here to expose a buried truth, one she's held close for months. As the judge calls court to order, Alexis rises, her voice steady but filled with quiet fire. Your Honor, she begins. Before we proceed with arguments, I must submit new evidence that changes the very foundation of this case. Murmurs ripple across the courtroom. Drew, seated beside her, turns sharply. Alexis, what are you doing? He whispers. She meets his eyes briefly. Saving you, and maybe everyone else. The clerk takes the sealed envelope from Alexis' hand, and when the judge opens it, the room collectively gasps. Inside is a recorded confession, apparently from a high-ranking Port Charles official, a voice that sounds chillingly familiar. It's Laura Collins, Martin blurts, rising instantly. This is a stunt. But Alexis doesn't flinch. No stunt, counselor. It's a piece of truth that's been suppressed for far too long. The judge calls for order, but the chaos only deepens. The recording plays, Laura's voice, steady and somber, saying, I authorized the evidence transfer. I believed it would protect someone I loved. I didn't realize it would cost an innocent man his freedom. Drew's jaw tightens. The camera cuts to Laura, who has just entered the courtroom doorway, her eyes wide with betrayal and disbelief. Alexis' move has detonated a bomb in the heart of Port Charles justice. After court adjourns amid uproar, the hallway outside the courtroom becomes a war zone of emotions. Laura corners Alexis near the exit, her voice trembling with a mixture of rage and heartbreak. How dare you blindside me like that, she hisses. You had no right to expose something I said in confidence. Alexis exhales slowly, meeting Laura's fury with calm resilience. You said it during an official interview. It wasn't under seal. The truth deserved daylight, Laura. Drew steps forward, tension radiating off him. So it's true? You manipulated my case, after all that talk about fairness and transparency. Laura's composure cracks. I was trying to protect my family, Drew. Nicholas was still missing, and the investigation into Victor's network was falling apart. If that evidence had gone public, lives could have been lost. Drew's voice turns sharp, wounded. So you sacrificed mine instead. The words hang like knives. Laura's face crumples, but she doesn't back down. You don't understand the choices leaders have to make. If I could change it, I would. Alexis quietly gathers her files, the tension between the two older friends cutting her to the core. She's known Laura for decades, fought beside her, grieved with her, but today, she's chosen justice over friendship. And as Laura storms off, Drew turns toward Alexis, eyes burning. You'd better know what you're doing, he warns. Because you just made me the most dangerous man in Port Charles. At the Metro Court, Lulu Spencer Falconeri sits across from Brooklyn Quartermain, sipping a cappuccino while glancing distractedly toward the elevator. She's been trying to ignore the feeling for days, that creeping sense that something's off about Drew, about Laura, and even about the case Alexis is handling. Brooklyn chatters on about Chase's tour schedule, but Lulu's mind drifts elsewhere, to the look on her mother's face when Alexis entered court, to the whisper she overheard between Sam and Christina earlier. Finally, she sets her cup down. Brooklyn, have you noticed anything strange about Alexis lately? Brooklyn blinks. Strange? Besides the fact that she's representing Drew in a case half the town's afraid to touch? She's practically living on caffeine and adrenaline.
Lulu nods slowly. It's more than that.
Mom's been meeting with her secretly, late hours, off record.
And now Drew's name keeps coming up. I don't think Alexis is just defending him.
I think she's trying to protect someone else.
Brooklyn's brow furrows.
You think it's about Scout?
The mention of Drew's daughter sends Lulu's stomach churning.
Maybe. Or maybe it's bigger. Maybe this whole case connects back to why Victor's old files resurfaced last month. Their conversation is cut short when Sonny Corinthos approaches the table, his presence instantly cooling the air. Ladies, he greets, his tone deceptively casual.
You might want to keep those theories to yourselves. Things are about to get ugly. Lulu narrows her eyes.
What do you know, Sonny? He leans in, lowering his voice. Let's just say Laura's about to find out that her attempt to protect Port Charles might have opened the door to its biggest threat yet.
Lulu feels the ground shift beneath her.
For once, Sonny's cryptic warning doesn't sound like mob bravado. It sounds like prophecy. Later that afternoon, in the mayor's office, Laura sits alone staring out over the harbor. Her reflection in the glass looks older, wearier, a leader whose crown has begun to slip. The recording has leaked online already, thanks to an anonymous source.
The town is buzzing with judgment. The door opens quietly. It's Kevin.
Everyone's talking about it, he says softly. Alexis, move, your confession.
Laura closes her eyes.
It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Kevin crosses the room and places a gentle hand on her shoulder.
You made a call based on your conscience. You tried to protect your son. Anyone would have.
Laura turns toward him, tears glimmering.
And now I've lost Drew's trust. Alexis will never forgive me. And the people I serve think I'm corrupt. Kevin sighs.
Maybe it's time to stop carrying everyone else's burdens. Maybe it's time to tell the full truth about what really happened the night that evidence disappeared.
Laura looks up sharply. You mean, about Nicholas? Kevin nods grimly. The world already suspects.
It's only a matter of time before Alexis drags that into court too. For a long moment, Laura says nothing. Then, with a trembling voice, she whispers, if the truth about Nicholas comes out, it won't just destroy me. It'll destroy our family. At the Aurora Media offices, Drew stares at a photo of Scout on his desk. His mind replays the courtroom moment again and again. Alexis Gamble, Laura's voice, the sense of betrayal slicing through every word. When Sam enters, she can see the storm brewing behind his calm facade.
You shouldn't be alone right now, she says. Quietly. He glances up, bitterness in his tone. Alone's how I've survived every betrayal in my life.
What's one more?
Sam folds her arms, her voice careful. Laura's not your enemy, Drew. You know she didn't mean to hurt you. He stands, slamming his hand on the desk. She played God with my freedom, Sam. She had the power to set things right and chose to bury it.
Do you know what that does to a man?
Sam flinches but doesn't back down.
And Alexis, what she did today wasn't just about justice, it was about guilt.
She's been trying to make up for the time she couldn't save people she cared about.
You were her redemption shot. Drew exhales shakily, his anger giving way to exhaustion. I didn't ask to be anyone's redemption. The silence lingers, heavy with unsaid truths. Finally, Sam steps closer. Then make it about something else. Make it about Scout. Don't let Laura or Alexis drag you into their moral wars. Be the father Scout can look up to. Her words pierce through him. Drew looks away, struggling to contain the emotion threatening to spill over. Maybe you're right, he murmurs. But if I find out Laura wasn't the only one who knew, if anyone else was involved, I'll make sure every last secret comes to light. As night falls, Lulu heads to Alexis' office. She doesn't knock, just pushes the door open, catching Alexis mid-phone call with Diane. Lulu, Alexis says, startled. Now's not. Save it, Lulu interrupts sharply. What the hell were you thinking playing that recording in open court? You just detonated my mother's career. Alexis puts down the phone, her expression hardening. Your mother made choices that affected innocent lives. I'm not in the business of covering up power plays anymore. Lulu paces, visibly shaking. You think you're the hero here? You're not. You're just another lawyer using people's pain to prove a point. That hits Alexis deep. You sound just like her, she says softly. Defending the greater good while ignoring the human cost. Lulu's eyes flash. You don't know what it's like to carry a family legacy that never stops haunting you. Don't I? Alexis counters. Every Davis woman lives under the shadow of something she didn't ask for. But the difference is, I'm finally done running from it. Lulu stares at her, breathing heavily. Then you'd better be ready for what comes next. Because when Laura fights back, she won't be alone. As Lulu storms out, Alexis sinks into her chair, the weight of her own words pressing down on her. She's started a war, one that may cost her everything. At Sunny's penthouse, Jason Morgan stands by the window, arms folded, watching the skyline. Sunny pours 2 glasses of bourbon. Alexis made her move, Sunny says quietly. And Laura's scrambling. Jason nods. You think Alexis did it for Drew, or for herself? Both, Sunny replies. But it doesn't matter. That recording opened more doors than she realizes. I've got people asking questions about where that file came from, who leaked it. Jason turns toward him. You think it's tied to Brennan's old network? Sunny's jaw tightens. I think the same people who fed Alexis that recording want chaos in Port Charles. And Laura's guilt was just the match. Jason's expression darkens. Then we need to figure out who's playing puppet master before this turns into another war. Sunny nods slowly. Already on it. But if Laura's enemies smell blood, the entire city's leadership could crumble. At the Collins home later that night, Laura sits in her study, exhausted. Lulu enters quietly, but her presence crackles with confrontation. You should have told me, Lulu begins. Laura looks up wearily. Told you what? That you made that recording. That you admitted to tampering with Drew's case. You've been keeping secrets again, just like you did with Nicholas, with Luke, with me. Laura sighs. I was trying to protect you. Lulu's voice breaks. Protect me from what, Mom? The truth? Because the truth always finds a way out. The 2 women lock eyes, mirrors of each other's strength and pain. For a moment, silence reigns. Finally, Laura whispers, I didn't want you to see me as a failure. Lulu softens slightly. You're not a failure. But you're human, Mom. And humans make mistakes. Big ones. Laura gives a shaky smile. Then maybe it's time I start owning mine. They embrace, fragile but real, the kind of hug that hints at healing but promises no peace. Back in her office, Alexis receives an unexpected visitor, Diane Miller. I should congratulate you, Diane says dryly. Your little courtroom stunt just set the legal community on fire. Half the Bar Association wants to crown you, the other half wants to disbar you. Alexis chuckles without humor. Par for the course. Diane studies her friend. You didn't do it for Drew, did you? You did it for yourself, to finally prove you're not afraid to burn bridges. Alexis looks down at her hands. Maybe. Or maybe I'm tired of watching men in power play God while the rest of us clean up their messes. Diane nods slowly. Well, brace yourself. Because Laura's about to fight back harder than you've ever seen. Later that night, Drew drives to the pier. The moonlight glints off the water, the same place where his life once fell apart, and began again. He calls someone, voice cold and resolute. It's me, he says. I want everything you have on Laura Collins. No filters, no favors. If she played me once, I'll make sure she never gets the chance again. He hangs up and stares into the darkness, unaware that someone is watching from the shadows. The camera pans, revealing Nicholas Cassadine, alive and observing, his expression unreadable. Nicholas steps into the light, his face hardened by exile. He murmurs to himself, Mother always thought she could protect me. But now, she's the one who needs saving. He pulls out his phone, dialing a number labeled B. Brennan, he says. It's time. As the clock strikes midnight across Port Charles, the show intercuts rapid-fire moments. Alexis, alone in her office, receives an anonymous text. You exposed Laura. Now we expose you. Laura, standing at her window, sees flashing lights, police arriving at City Hall with a search warrant. Lulu, sitting in her car outside the courthouse, spots Drew meeting with an unknown figure, Nicholas. Sunny and Jason, watching the footage from the pier, realize Brennan's network has reactivated. And Drew, staring into Nicholas' cold smile, understands too late that Alexis Gamble has pulled them all into something much darker. The final shot lingers on Laura's tearful face as she whispers, Oh God, what have I done? Fade out.
Tuesday's preview promises the fallout to be devastating. Alexis is summoned before the ethics board.
Lulu uncovers Nicholas' secret alliance with Brennan. Laura faces arrest for evidence tampering. And Drew's fury leads him into a trap that could cost him everything, including Scout. Monday, October 27's General Hospital episode proves why the show remains the gold standard for emotional drama and political intrigue. Alexis' courtroom bombshell redefines every relationship in Port Charles. Laura's moral downfall, Lulu's awakening, and Drew's transformation from victim to avenger signal that the next chapter of GH will be anything but predictable. By the end of the episode, one truth is clear. In Port Charles, justice isn't just blind, it's personal.